Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday. I'm back. I apologize, excuse me, for missing yesterday, but it couldn't be helped. But I'm back at it today. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And I hope it finds you well, guys. I hope you didn't have to get gas this morning. 4:45 now at the station that's right near the office, and it's a cheaper one. It's not, I think maybe like Walmart. There's one or two Walmarts I think sell gas. Maybe they're a little less. Maybe Costco gas a little bit less. Yeah, but no, everything. Getting much more expensive, and I guess the war's almost over, and oil prices are going to go back down, is not in the cards, at least for the next little bit. Oil prices are spiking right now. Taking a quick look here, NYMEX crude up $8.50, just under $96. Brent crude is now over $100. Unleaded gas futures right at just under $3. So we had more ships being attacked in the Gulf. We'll get to all of that. Several oil tankers are on fire right now, as well as one of the oil terminals that doesn't require going through the strait was hit yesterday, but very quickly we will. I missed our Texas update. There's so much good things. I know it's been tough, but we will get into that a little bit today, but we'll really do it more tomorrow. But really quickly, I just want everyone to know the lawyers, and we've got the best, as you guys already know, are extremely, extremely confident in what is going to happen. Iskander, the Iskander network, the second of our coins, is now open to anybody that isn't in Texas. So anybody in the other, any other state, territory, you can now get into Iskander. And obviously, if you need our help, which you probably do, just call us. Call us at the 800 number, 800-951-0592. And again, we'll cover most of this tomorrow. But it looks like we're going to have the Tate brothers, Andrew Tate, Christian Tate. They're pretty famous. Tucker Carlson did an interview. They're kind of notorious. They have agreed to come on and promote the Iskander coin, and obviously we know that that will also benefit the Texas model as
Who is that
well.
again?
So Andrew and Christian Tate.
Okay, got it. I want to make sure I heard that right.
Yes.
I want to make sure I had that right.
Yes. So if you Tucker Carlson fan at all, or maybe you're not, go look for his interview that Andrew Tate did with him. Gosh, it wasn't even that long ago. Maybe a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and check that out. So, guys, I know, it's been tough. It's been sucky, but good things are happening. Plus, we'll go over the mine. We'll do all that stuff, but too much other stuff to talk about today. We'll focus in on that tomorrow. In addition, I know there's so much happening. The Trump administration yesterday is going to suspend the Jones Act shipping rules to try to help cool rising oil prices. That had no effect. Yesterday as well, the world, if you will, agreed. Remember, we were talking about this on Tuesday, to release 400 million barrels from strategic oil reserves. The United States agreeing to release 170 million barrels. Essentially what we did. So right now, our oil reserves are only 58% full. Biden started draining them, and the Trump administration, they filled it up a little bit. But then they just were like, gosh, it costs too much money, and consequently, they stopped filling it up. They will now go down to the lowest level allowed by Congress. So if we do release all 170 million barrels, which, guys, just to give you an idea, I think today, and as the reserves fall, the amount that they can pump out every day falls. When it's full, just the U.S. can pump 1 million barrels a day. Right now, we can maybe do 700,000 barrels a day. So that just kind of tells me, it's kind of interesting to say, hey, we're going to go right down to that limit, because that doesn't sound like, hey, this thing's going to be over, right, in the next 2 weeks. Heck, doesn't even sound like it'll be over in the next 2-3 months. But bring you up to speed when we get back. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason. I will say this too really fast on Iskander. We're not really much better now. If you sign up and you refer somebody, we're not playing any games, no multi-level stuff or anything like that. You get two choices. You get 20% cash. So let's just say, somebody signed up for, you signed up, and then you got someone to sign up for the $1,000. You get $200. That's it. No points, no left, no rights. Or 100% hash. So if you sign somebody up for like an 81 pack, remember, Iskander, you can go big. Yeah, you can get 81,000 seats in hash power, or you get like, what was that, 16,000 plus in cash. So that's at 20% USDC. And I think you can also get it in Texas coin, Iskander coin. Don't quote me on that. I know it's 20%, or 100% hash. So it's so much better. But again, I forgot to mention that in the last part. So enough of that. Let's get to the market here, because it seems that as the hours go by, it gets a little worse and a little worse. Remember what I've been telling you. If we're in the same spot 1 week later, things get exponentially worse. Right now, the Dow is down 700 points, 46,000 and change. The NASDAQ is down 400 points, 22,000 and change. The S&P is down 100 points. That's fine, right? And I said, so far Wall Street, it's kind of it's starting to behave less. Right? It's, and again, every day now, maybe even every hour, it's going to be harder and harder for Wall Street to not have a violent downturn. The private credit markets now, pretty much everybody is not allowing redemptions, and just not a good sign underneath. And earnings have not been great That's the other problem. The 10-year note, probably the biggest problem. 4.25 right now, 4.25, and it continues to trend in the opposite direction of where we need it to be. On top of that, right now, crude oil, NYMEX crude is up over $9 now, 96.30. Brent crude up over $9, over $101 today alone. Gasoline futures right now are up 14 cents. And it's just, be prepared. I don't, everyone's, do the math from wherever your gas price is. So here in Phoenix, we have one of the higher prices, just so you know. Obviously, Alaska, Hawaii, let's set those two aside. Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Arizona, we kind of are, California, the extreme high, but we're the highest. This morning, as I told you guys, $4.55. I mean, what, a month ago? 6 weeks ago, it was $2.89. $4.55. Right now, don't be shocked. Matter of fact, plan on it. $5 plus next week. Hopefully not this weekend, right? $5 plus next week. Now, everybody out there add at least another 50 cents to the price of gas. That's what we're looking at. Right now on the gold side of things, gold was up, but now the 10-year spiking. Gold's doing really well, hanging in there really well. But right now today, down $50. But it's at 51.30. Right, so
yeah, gold and silver is doing just fine, and they've been going sideways for a little while, but it's better than losing 4,000 points like the Dow.
Yeah, well, exactly. Silver right now down about 92 cents at 84.70. Silver was actually higher earlier, but here's what's going on, guys. Let's just make it really, I guess, simple. The idea that somehow we could bomb Iran into submission starting to sink in that you can't. Wish we could. Want to believe we could. We can do that to Iraq because Iraq couldn't stop anything in the strait, right?
Iraq was an occupation for well over 10 years, too, though.
Yeah, that's true, too. That is true, too. I guess I was thinking more like Gulf War I, where we just bombed the hell out of them and then kind of left town, Yes. But yes. Between the shows, so between yesterday's show and today's show, 6 ships have been hit by Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. Multiple ships were oil containers, oil. That's the other thing, too. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures. Like those oil tankers, those are total. Those things were sinking, right? Burning up to the ground. I mean, how many ships do they have? Like, are we going to run out of that? I don't know how many. No, Jason says no. I was wondering, do we have plenty of these oil ships?
It's interesting. The ships that go to China are not the same ships that come here. Our ports can't even support the mega ships that go to Europe and Asia, Joe. These are massive ships. Now, can they run as ships? Yes. But because, as we know, before this all happened, there was a glut in oil. You need to get rid of this glut. Hence, the last time you were on the show, Joe, we were talking about how these nations have all agreed to empty their their holdings, right? We're all going to just empty the supply. These are all indications of getting rid of a glut. Once again, I'm going to keep saying it, to bring an inflated price. This is
a shortage.
This is false scarcity at its worst. This is the worst display of false scarcity I have ever seen in my life. And this is why we got high prices on something that should be 50 cents or $1 a gallon.
Yeah, and guys, the longer this goes, two things, just remember. Because when this is over, whenever this is over, prices will come down. There's no doubt about that. The problem is...
gas prices will.
Right. The problem is, the longer this goes, the more oil gets pumped out. Now, remember, J.P. Morgan said, listen, all this, it sounds great. 400 million barrels sounds like a ton, right? But it's not. And the fact of the matter is, how much can you actually pump out every day? And according to J.P. Morgan, these countries can't really pump out that much. A little over 1 million barrels a day. That's nothing.
And they can't pump anything out once they've shut the refineries off because they're filled up.
And this is becoming an issue where every day that goes by, more and more, oil production facilities shut down because their storages are full. It'll take a lot longer to come back online. Yesterday, Iran hit a major oil terminal that didn't, in Oman, that didn't have to go through the straits.
Yeah.
Right? And that's another one of these game changers, right? Now here's more oil being affected.
You won't believe what I found out yesterday, Joe, and I didn't even put it on the air yesterday. We talked about other things yesterday. The oil tankers, the oil that's coming out of Venezuela, I found out there's a destination. There's a destination for the Venezuelan oil. It wasn't China. The Venezuelan oil went to Israel. That is what the Venezuelan oil went to Israel. How about that, Joe? That doesn't smell good. My guess is the easy oil from the Middle East wasn't coming in, so now Venezuela becomes more and more understandable.
Here is another, caveat here. They better hurry up and get these oil prices down before June, July, August, because those are the 3 months they use for Social Security, right? I mean,
inflation, man. Pump that Social Security up. We got to make everything go up, Joe. That's okay. Pay the old timers more money. Inflate your way out of this debt, right, Joe?
Oh boy,
wages have to go up to get your debt to GDP down. Yeah, wages can go up too. It doesn't hurt the debt to GDP if you're paying people more money. You just have to make everything go up. And stagflation doesn't help as much, Joe. We know that we're in more of a stagflation. So, yeah, boy, energy really has a bigger impact than people realize, Joe.
Yeah, and I will say this: there are two important pipelines that, if these get hit, $200 a barrel will be here instantaneously. The first one's in Saudi Arabia, the East-West Pipeline Network, Petro line, 750 miles. So, I mean, they don't.
Where does that pipeline go to, Joe? Do you have any idea kind of where that pipeline goes? How far?
Yeah,
west
so it goes out to the Red Sea. Okay, so that's not in the Strait. And it is connected to basically the eastern Gulf coast of Saudi Arabia. So this is on the other side of Saudi Arabia. So
where Israel might get their oil from Saudi Arabia.
Correct.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'd almost guarantee that's how that works.
Sounds like that pipe might get hit any day now. That's what it sounds like.
That's 7 million barrels a day, guys.
Oh,
This is very big. I mean, I don't know. If this went down and they said, even if this was down for a week, I can't imagine. We could have $300 oil. They may stop trading oil. I don't know. But that pipeline's, that's the most important one. That one hasn't been hit. The other one is in Abu Dhabi, UAE, Dubai. You're right. It's not in Dubai, but it's in part of that. And it is I won't even try to pronounce the pipeline, but I guess I will. Hasban Fuar Oil Pipeline. Yeah. It's about 248 miles worth of pipeline. And it connects to the eastern side, and its reported total capacity is 1.8 million barrels. Right now, I think it only is running at 1.5 million. But those two pipelines, either one of them, it's hit trouble. Obviously, the Saudi one, everybody better run.
Yes, ma'am, back.
800-951-0592. Dimex Crude down $97, almost up 10. Again, every hour, it seems like it's coming down a little worse. Listen, I'm going to give you guys the lead pipe stone cold lock of the week here. $10 Liberties. This is an incredible opportunity. 1 through 9. $26.75. That would be like, right now, $20 gold pieces, what a great deal at $53.95. But at $26.75 for a 10, that would be $53.50. Right? So that's $45 off. But I'll tell you what, volume always can get you a better price. And I'm going to make it attainable, right? Because I want, you're not going to have to buy 20, 50 to get, 10 or more. I'm going to take it down to $2,650. To give you an idea right now, $10 Liberty is $27.90. So just by, just one. I mean, when you think about $26.75, you're saving $115. You buy 10 or more, you're saving $140 a coin. You buy 10 coins, you're saving $1,400 today. Here's the problem. There's only 50 of them at this price. So first come, first serve, 800-951-0592, and get this put away as things are starting to get much worse. When you start thinking about consumer, and everybody is paying at least $1, $1.50 more for gas. And I'm telling you, get ready for the next 50 cents, right? It's coming, right? Going to be paying $2 more, $3 more for a gallon of gas. How much can people hang on? How bad is energy price? You got to remember, it's not just oil, natural gas, heating oil, right? I mean, all of these things for energy and other fertilizer. Here we go again. We may have a spike in fertilizer that's going to just wipe out farmers as far as what things are going to cost to get stuff in the ground.
Just look what I mentioned in that last segment, Joe. America, and I know people disagree with this, but America bought Venezuelan oil. They made a financial deal to buy their oil. That's why American oil companies are there, because the federal government bought the oil. They hatched a deal with Venezuela. And what did they do with the oil that America purchased? They sent it to Israel. And then the Iran war started very conveniently shortly after. Israel's going to need their fuel, and they know that whatever was getting ready to go down, because they planned this, whatever's going down, that, hey, worst case scenario, where are we getting our oil if the big old pipelines get bombed? Well, I guess we'll have to go buy it from somewhere. Who's got a lot of oil we can buy? Venezuela, that thorn in our side that we can't take it from them. We can't go really and have so-called boots on the ground in Venezuela and Iran. So I guess we're just going to have to pay. Which one do you hate the worst, Israel? Okay, America, I think that's obvious. Just make sure we have enough oil. And, you unhatch Venezuela, and here comes Iran. And Joe, we know if that pipeline's going to be hit. We know when the pipeline's going to be hit, Joe. Good. If America and Israel hit something oil infrastructure, let's say that rail line that goes to China, if America bombs that rail line, the big pipeline in Saudi Arabia gets hit. That's the way this war is going to go. Who's going to push more buttons?
Right. Well, I'll just say that the heavy oil, right, that is, they mix that oil with the lighter oil for jet fuel. And, think about Israel, right? They need, right, all the planes, all the bombing runs, right? So they got to have that, the Jones Act, which I just mentioned earlier. For those of you that aren't familiar with that, it's an act that essentially said you had to use American-built ships to transport goods between U.S. ports.
That's right.
Okay, so if you have a refinery in the United States and you're going to deliver whatever it is, oil, gas, jet fuel, by a ship, you have to use an American-built ship to do it. Same thing if it was cars, clothing, right? Whatever it may be, if it's in a U.S. port and you're going to transport it by ship to another U.S. port, you had to use an American-built ship. The Trump administration is issuing a waiver that will allow foreign tankers to help supply refiners in the East Coast from the Gulf Coast and elsewhere. So I don't know why we would need that, but apparently, Jason, maybe there's not quite enough U.S. ships, or maybe they're busy taking Venezuelan oil somewhere. I don't know. But in any event now, any ship now can transport oil and gas and oil-related products. I don't know if it's all the clothes, cars, and all that, but it looks like they're going to suspend the Jones Act. Now, they would do this like in hurricane situations, stuff like that. The last time, October 22nd, 2022, a tanker heading to Puerto Rico to deliver supplies before a hurricane was coming. Apparently, we put it on a different ship to get it there faster. But first time we've seen it used in this regard, Jason.
Yeah, that's actually a big change. That's one of the reasons we don't have the bigger ports and the bigger ships coming here is because of that Jones Act. That's one of the reasons, because the way that we do things around here, it's all about monopoly. You want to have the biggest share of whatever industry you're in. But shipping foreign oil directly to ports shows an emergency-minded set. Somebody's allowing themselves to lose a little money by not loading everything onto an American ship before it gets here.
Yeah, that's right? Hey, that ship's a little less. They charge us a little less, right? So 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason will be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Guys, please get more of your wealth protected. Jason and I, gold is like savings. It's like insurance for your money. It really is. I'm going to give you the special again, $10 Liberties, 1 through 9. Guys, this is just dumb pricing. Why? Because we love you guys. $26.75. By the way, that equates just to, because all of us went to public school. We don't do math very well. $5,350. Gold is what, $51.40 right now. So it's like $200 over spot, right? I mean, it's insane. But wait, if you just buy 10 or more, and you can buy more, but you buy 10 of them, $26.50. $26.50. That's $5,300. Right? Now you're talking about $160 over spot. 800-951-0592. And I know we're all focused on oil. We're all focused on gas prices. Guys, I'm telling you, there is a huge problem in the credit markets. It is getting worse every single day, but it can't get on the headlines because the oil price is taking all the air out of the room. BlackRock, which 3 months ago had their private credit loans valued at par, right? I mean, it's worth what you paid for it. Has now started taking them down multiple tranches all the way down to zero in less than 90 days. It started in the exposure to the software sector. Then, of course, the canary in the coal mine. We talked about Blue Owl. Then UBS came out and said there's record cascading defaults inside of banks and hedge funds in the private credit market, billions getting vaporized. The credit market is really starting to crack, and now 11 of the world's private credit funds are being overwhelmed with redemptions. It's something where every day it feels like more and more dominoes fall. Now, J.P. Morgan, the latest, it is going to limit all lending to private credit groups after marking down their loan collateral. So this whole thing inside, and this is this house of cards that we worry about as oil prices and whatnot start to do damage. All of a sudden, areas that already had damage to them, Jason, they're now going to open up, and this is going to be an avalanche here, and we are so close to something very ugly and a very ugly decline. We're literally sitting there maybe one day away, because here's what happened. Oh, look at the list I just went down. It was gradual. Well, it started here. Well, then it was this. Oh, well, then this happened. And oh, wait, then this. And now this guy's marking it down. That guy's marking it down. They're marking it down. Now we're not going to lend. How did you go bankrupt? Gradually. And then all of a sudden, and Jason, we are getting very close to this all of a sudden issue when it comes to private credit.
Yeah, let's see what happens. There's still some tricks that can be had, and I think you want to pull the tricks when nobody's looking, like when you have a big war going on and it gets worse.
Well, this is what, right? They got to print more money.
I'm convinced they're going to
bailout something, right?
I'm convinced they're going to relax the regulations of the big banks and let them print money. They're going to be able to allow them to order treasuries and fund their banks to loan money to anybody and everybody that needs it. The lending standards, like they did with the housing market under Clinton. Clinton wanted everybody needs a house. Everybody needs a house. Well, we got mortgage-backed securities. We're going to just load these things up with the worst trash and the biggest risk and call it really good. The banks are going to be doing the same. They're going to print their own money through the United States government, and the Fed are going to say, yeah, Wells Fargo, print away. And who are they going to loan the money to, Joe? They don't care. It's a debt money system. How much money do you think the big banks will love to loan out if just given a green light, Joe? That'll be, once again, it'll just be a temporary thing. Can you imagine the debt and the money going on at that point, Joe?
It's going to be an avalanche.
Yeah.
It's going to be an avalanche. And here's the thing.
JP Morgan Chase starts printing money. Right? Can you imagine?
They will take a scalp or two, right?
Yep.
So maybe a small bank or mid-sized bank, couple of hedge funds, right?
Actually,
they'll take
Joe,
scalp.
You just set it up. Who are those big banks? They're not going to loan it to me and Joe. They're going to loan it to those little banks, and who's going to hold that bag, Joe?
Right. And who's going to end up holding the bag? This is, wow. I'm watching this and waiting. Please, especially if you've got this money sitting in your bank account, take some of it and get yourself some more wealth insurance. Because, guys, I don't think that the printing press can't wait for Kevin Warsh. How's that? It can't wait for Kevin Warsh. It is coming, and it's going to come fast. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour, $10 Liberties, 1 through 9, $26.75. Just a huge sale today. And if you buy 10 or more, $26.50 at 800-951-0592. And again, I would just point out, already record numbers of Americans plundering into their 401ks. Just staggering how many people just don't have the means. And, of course, with what's going on in gas prices, I imagine that's going to get worse. Moody's just cut New York City's rating outlook to negative, talking about budget shortfall. So, again, all of this credit stuff, all of this debt, it's just seemingly starting to pile up here, and we've got this huge trend. Well, a little bit. And again, I've been talking about how Wall Street has been behaving. Jason, we are getting ready for something very unorganized, very messy, followed by a massive bailout, a massive amount of spending. Gold is going to fly. There's a reason why. Think about just in the last 2 weeks, gold's really kind of just sat there. Everyone's raised their JP Morgan, $6,200 gold. The next bank, $6,500 gold. Goldman Sachs. Worst case is all to the upside. We could see $7,500 gold, and when 2030, next year. No, they're saying between now and the end of the year, Jason, because they understand the amount of money that's going to need to be printed. And again, they can't wait for Kevin Warsh. They're going to have to do something, and a lot sooner than people think.
Yeah, well, that's what we've been here for year after year, is to keep you ahead of this stuff and keep you more prepared for it. Because, as I mentioned before, in Weimar, Germany, I was watching this guy. This guy had a diary, one of these guys, and at one point, a gold chain was 4 bags of potatoes. Now, you might say, well, man, I shouldn't hold gold because of that. At least the guy was able to get 4 bags of potatoes. You're missing the point. The guy that had the gold chain got to eat, right? So, we're not going into that as far as I can tell. But Joe, when we bowed to Venezuela as a government and as a banking cartel to Venezuela, who held out, so that Israel can get the oil for the pre-planned war against Iran. Yeah, I think things are getting a little ugly, Joe. I think you could safely say things are getting a little ugly when the financiers are kind of showing themselves.
Really quickly, I'm just looking at these numbers now. 9,000 ships stuck, either waiting to get into the docks through the Strait of Hormuz or leave the docks. Liquid natural gas, that may be the next huge move. They're saying half of the global liquid natural gas fleet is trapped in the Strait of Hormuz.
Remember when natural gas got stopped a couple Wednesdays ago?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Somebody knew what was going on.
Bailed out the silver market. Yeah.
Somebody knew what was going on.